Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift without saying a word? Have you noticed that some people admire you deeply while others seem strangely uncomfortable around you? That's not a coincidence. It's not arrogance. It's your aura, and it's more powerful than you think. This video is not for the faint-hearted. It's for the rare ones. The women and men whose energy doesn't just enter a room, it transforms it. The ones who've spent time in silence, healing, evolving, letting go of who they were and stepping into who they truly are. And now, without even trying, you radiate a presence that most people aren't ready to handle. You don't beg. You don't chase. You don't seek approval. And that alone makes people uncomfortable. Because you've reclaimed something they've lost, your power. The truth is, your aura might be too intense for some, but that's not a flaw. It's a superpower. And the sooner you understand the science, the sooner you stop shrinking to fit in and start standing tall in your truth. In today's video, we're breaking down 6 unmistakable signs that your aura is too powerful for most people to handle. Each sign will challenge you, empower you, and most of all, confirm what you already know deep down. You are not like the rest. And it's time to stop apologizing for that. So if you're ready to own your energy and stop dimming your light, stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll no longer question your intensity. You'll embrace it. Let's dive in. You make people uncomfortable without saying a word. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a shift in the air? You haven't spoken, you haven't made eye contact, yet suddenly people seem tense. They glance your way, then look away quickly. Some grow quieter, others speak louder, almost nervously. It's like your very presence unsettles something in them. That, my friend, is the power of your aura. Your aura, the electromagnetic field surrounding your body, is not just spiritual fluff. It's real energy. And when your aura is powerful, it speaks long before you do. It announces your presence without permission. It shakes the room without effort. Not because you're trying to dominate, but because you're deeply aligned with yourself. You've likely noticed that certain people feel nervous or uneasy around you, even though you've done nothing wrong. That's because your energy reflects back to them part of themselves they haven't faced. Your authenticity makes their masks feel heavy. Your calm exposes their chaos. Your confidence challenges their insecurities. You don't have to say a word. Your energy says everything. And it doesn't mean you're unkind. In fact, powerful aura people are often incredibly compassionate, intuitive, and thoughtful. But the truth is, when your energy is centered, grounded, and real, it will disrupt those who are not. That's not your fault. That's your frequency. Sometimes people will misinterpret your silence as arrogance, your stillness as judgment, or your confidence as confrontation. But the truth is, they're reacting to the mirror your aura holds up. They sense the depth in you, and it scares them. They don't know how to stand in the presence of someone who doesn't seek approval, who doesn't play small, who simply is. So, if people seem unnerved by your quiet strength or mysteriously intimidated by your energy, don't shrink. It's not that you're too much. It's that your aura is too real, and most people aren't ready for that. You intimidate people without trying. You don't raise your voice, you don't walk around with arrogance, you're not aggressive or boastful, and yet, people often act nervous around you. Some seem overly cautious, others try too hard to impress you, and a few even create distance for no apparent reason. Let's be clear, it's not you. It's your aura. A truly powerful aura doesn't need to shout. It doesn't need flashy clothes, loud words, or dramatic gestures. Its strength lies in something far deeper. Authenticity, presence, and grounded confidence. And that kind of energy can feel overwhelming to people who aren't used to being in the presence of someone who knows who they are. You intimidate not because you're mean, but because you're unshakable. In a world where so many people are pretending, adjusting, people-pleasing, or faking confidence just to fit in, your unapologetic presence is a shock to the system. You don't bend for approval. You don't dilute yourself for acceptance. You don't need validation to feel worthy. And people who are still struggling to find that within themselves often don't know how to handle you. They can't control you. They can't label you. They can't predict you. And what they can't control, they fear. This is why some people might call you cold, distant, or hard to read. Not because you actually are, but because they're not used to someone who carries power without pretending. Someone who walks with integrity, who listens more than they speak, who feels deeply without performing emotionally. Where you have what they crave but don't yet understand, inner authority. You've done the work, you've faced your shadows, you've owned your pain and turned it into power. You've found peace in your solitude. And now your energy reflects that evolution. It walks into the room before you do. So don't mistake people's intimidation for dislike. Often it's admiration in disguise. They are just not used to being in the presence of someone so real, so rooted, and so self-aware. Your presence doesn't scare people because you're doing something wrong. It scares them because you're doing something right. And here's the truth. The ones who are meant to walk with you won't feel threatened by your power. They'll be inspired by it. They'll rise with it. They'll grow beside it. So keep showing up as your whole self. Keep carrying that energy that can't be copied or contained. Because a strong aura doesn't demand attention. It commands it. You attract both admiration and envy. When your aura is powerful, it acts like a magnet. It pulls energy toward it, both the good and the not so good. Some people will see you and feel instantly inspired. They'll feel elevated just by being around you. Your strength, your peace, your presence. It sparks something in them. It reminds them of who they could become if they stopped playing small. These people are drawn to your light because they're ready to find their own. But not everyone responds that way. Others will see the same exact light and feel threatened. Why? Because your presence shines on the parts of themselves they are still hiding. Your confidence reveals their insecurity. Your purpose highlights their confusion. Your discipline exposes their laziness. It's not that you're trying to outshine anyone. You're just being you. But that's enough to stir the envy of those who haven't done the inner work. A powerful aura doesn't just speak. It triggers, it awakens people. It shows them what's possible. And not everyone is ready for that level of reflection. You'll notice some people gravitate toward you with respect, admiration, and warmth. They'll want to learn from you, grow with you, align themselves with your energy. They are not afraid of your light. They are hungry for it. These are your people. These are the ones who deserve your time, your wisdom, your presence. But then there will be others. People who smile in your face but whisper behind your back. They may project negativity, spread rumors, or compete with you even when you're not in competition. That's envy disguised as concern. That's fear dressed as criticism. Understand this. Your aura reflects your soul's frequency. And when you are vibrating on a high level, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, not everyone can handle that. Some will want to dim your light just to feel better about their own darkness. But here's the truth. They can't touch you because envy can only affect those who are insecure in their power. And you've done the work. You've earned your presence. You've stepped into your truth. So don't lower your energy to make others comfortable. Don't shrink so others don't feel small. Let them feel what they need to feel. Their reaction is their responsibility, not yours. The people who admire you, honor them. The people who envy you, pray for them. But don't ever change for either. Your aura isn't here to please everyone. It's here to move energy, to elevate, to awaken, to shake the world in the most powerful, silent way. To keep shining, even when it rattles the room. Especially when it rattles the room, you can see through people instantly. One of the most misunderstood signs of having a powerful aura is this. You see through people instantly. You don't need someone to explain themselves 100 times. You don't need the backstory, the excuses, or the perfectly crafted persona. You see past all of that. Why? Because your energy isn't just strong, it's highly intuitive. Powerful auras are often rooted in deep spiritual awareness. You've been through pain. You've done the inner work. You've had moments of silence that taught you more than people's words ever could. So now, when you meet someone, it's not just a social interaction, it's an energetic reading. You notice the subtle things, the hesitation in their voice, the way their smile doesn't match their eyes, the shift in their tone when truth gets close. And even when they're lying, you don't call it out. You just file it under noted. Your gift is that you don't get lost in the surface. You feel energy. And that's intimidating to a lot of people because most are used to wearing masks. They're used to performing, pretending, or manipulating to get what they want. But when they meet you, none of that works. They can't hide from your intuition. And you don't even try to expose them. That's not your style. You don't operate from ego. You simply see, understand, and detach. You move with awareness, not judgment. But that very awareness makes people uneasy. It strips away their defenses without a word. This is why people often say things like, I don't know why I can't lie to you, or I feel like you already know what I'm going to say. It's because they're right. You do. But having a powerful aura doesn't mean you attack others with your insight. In fact, the strongest people are often the most gentle. You offer people space to be real. You give them the option to step into authenticity, but you no longer chase it. You no longer cling to false connections or pretend to not notice the red flags. Your aura sets the tone. It doesn't beg for honesty. It demands it energetically. So if you find yourself reading people within seconds, trusting your gut over their words and letting go without a dramatic ending, it's not coldness, it's clarity. You see, not everyone is meant to stay in your energy. And your ability to sense intentions early on is not a burden. It's a gift, a sacred filter. Don't question it. Don't suppress it. Don't water it down just to fit in, because the ability to see through people is part of what makes your aura untouchable. You're not here to play small. You're here to move through life, protected, aligned, and aware. Trust your energy. It has never lied to you. You're comfortable alone and unbothered by approval. One of the clearest signs that your aura is too powerful for most people to handle is this: you're completely comfortable being alone. And you don't crave external validation. In a world where people constantly chase attention, approval, and connection at any cost, your self-sufficiency is rare and unsettling to others. You don't need a crowd to feel confident. You don't need a partner to feel complete. You don't need likes, compliments, or constant reassurance to feel worthy. You've discovered something most people never will: peace in your own company. This doesn't mean you isolate or reject relationships. On the contrary, you likely love deeply and care fiercely, but you don't depend on others to define your identity or to tell you who you are. That inner knowing radiates through your energy. It's in the way you walk, the way you speak, and even in the way you stay silent. And that self-containment, it rattles people. Because many are still trapped in cycles of people-pleasing. They mold themselves to be accepted, to be liked, to avoid conflict. But you stand firm in who you are. You don't bend to fit in. You expand to stand out. And your refusal to compromise your authenticity creates a kind of energetic boundary that others feel immediately. They'll call you too independent or emotionally unavailable. But that's not the truth. You're just not dependent on validation. You're already full, and they don't know how to relate to that. People who haven't cultivated their own sense of self will often project their insecurities onto you. They'll misinterpret your calm as arrogance. They'll assume your quiet is judgment, but really, you're just grounded. You're not performing. You're present, and that presence speaks louder than words. Your aura carries a message. I am whole with or without your approval. And when you reach this level of energetic wholeness, the quality of your life changes. You no longer entertain draining conversations. You stop forcing broken connections. You walk away without fear or guilt. You protect your peace because you know how rare it is to find. Your solitude isn't a weakness, it's your power. You recharge in silence. You find clarity in being alone. And in that space, your aura strengthens, your mind sharpens, and your spirit expands. Most people run from that kind of solitude. You run to it. And this intimidates those who rely on constant noise and validation to feel alive. So if people don't understand your detachment, your peace, your ability to stand alone without shrinking, that's okay. They're not meant to understand, because when you're secure in who you are, you become a mirror to those who aren't. Keep standing tall in your self-trust. Keep walking in your truth. Because the more at peace you are alone, the more unshakable your energy becomes in any room you walk into. You naturally command respect without demanding it. You walk into a room and even without saying a word, people take notice. It's not just your appearance. It's not how loud you are. It's something deeper. Your presence. Your aura radiates a silent authority that makes people sit up a little straighter, watch what they say, or even rethink how they act around you. You don't have to demand respect. You embody it. And that's exactly why your aura is too powerful for some people to handle. See, real respect, isn't commanded with force, intimidation, or ego. It's inspired by authenticity, self-control, and energy alignment. You're not trying to prove anything. You just are. You've done the internal work. You've found your voice. You've healed what others are still hiding from. And now that inner alignment radiates in everything you do. Your boundaries are clear, but you don't shout them. Your expectations are high, but you don't lower them for convenience. Your values are non-negotiable, and that alone demands reverence. People feel this. They recognize it even when they can't explain it. That's the power of a refined aura. It doesn't need to ask for respect. It commands it through silent strength. But here's where it gets difficult. Not everyone is used to this kind of energy. In fact, some are triggered by it. People who are used to controlling, manipulating, or overpowering others often find themselves lost in your presence. Their usual tactics don't work on you. You're not swayed by charm, flattery, or pressure. You see through it. You stay centered. And when they realize they can't control the narrative around you, they either distance themselves or try to undermine you. That's okay. That's their discomfort, not your problem. Because you were never meant to shrink to fit into the spaces your soul has outgrown. There's a certain grace in the way you carry yourself. You're calm, but not passive. You're kind, but not naive. You're open-hearted, but not easy to access. That balance of openness and strength creates a magnetic field around you, and people feel it. And while some may admire you from afar, others may try to test your boundaries just to see if you're really as strong as you seem. Don't let that shake you. It's simply proof that your aura challenges those who have never truly respected themselves. Let them feel the weight of your energy. Let them learn what real presence feels like. You're not here to convince anyone of your worth. You are the reminder that respect isn't demanded. It's earned by the energy you bring. So stand tall, speak truth, walk boldly. Your aura is not for everyone. And that's the point. You make people confront their true selves. There's something about your presence that makes people pause, not just on the surface, but deep within themselves. When your aura is powerful, you don't even need to speak much to have an impact. Just by being who you are, you become a mirror. And not everyone is ready to see what that mirror reflects. People can't lie to themselves when they're around you. Why? Because your energy is aligned, clear, and intentional. You live in truth. You walk in integrity. You don't wear masks. And you don't pretend to be someone you're not to gain approval. And that kind of honesty forces others to feel the gap between who they are and who they pretend to be. Your light makes others question the shadows they've been hiding in. Some will appreciate this. They'll be inspired by your authenticity and feel motivated to face their own truth. These are the people who are open to growth. They'll thank you, even silently, for being the permission slip they needed to evolve. But others will react defensively. They'll feel exposed around you. They may say you're too intense, too serious, or too much, but really it's not about you, it's about what you trigger inside of them. Because being near someone who has done the inner work is uncomfortable for those who haven't. It brings their own avoidance to the surface. It reminds them of the healing they've delayed, the truths they've buried, and the masks they've gotten too comfortable wearing. You're not trying to judge them, you're just being yourself. But being yourself is a disruption to their carefully curated facade. Your aura makes them question the roles they've played for too long. And that kind of energy can feel overwhelming. You'll notice how some people suddenly distance themselves after being close to you. Not because you did anything wrong, but because they can't run from their truth when you're near. Others may become reactive or argumentative, trying to project their discomfort onto you. But remember, don't take it personally. Their response to your light has nothing to do with your worth. You are simply a reminder of what's real in a world full of illusions. And while that may repel some, it will deeply attract others. People who are ready to rise, to heal, and to grow. So don't dim yourself for anyone. If your energy causes discomfort, that's not your burden to carry. You're not responsible for how others react to your alignment. You're responsible for staying true to your path, regardless of how others respond to it. Because your aura doesn't just walk into rooms. It awakens them. And not everyone is ready for that awakening. But the ones who are, they'll find you. And never forget the impact your presence had on their soul. You don't chase, you attract. One of the most powerful signs that your aura is different, unshakable, magnetic, and intense is this. You don't chase anyone or anything, you simply attract. You've reached a level of spiritual maturity where desperation doesn't live in you anymore. You're not trying to prove your worth, to be chosen. You're not begging for attention, validation, or love. You're not throwing your energy into empty spaces hoping someone will notice. You've learned that what is meant for you will find you. Not when you're anxious, not when you're doubting, but when you're aligned. This is the final layer of a truly powerful aura. Stillness, magnetism, quiet confidence. You've stopped chasing because you finally know what you deserve. You've stopped overgiving because you understand that your energy is sacred. You've stopped entertaining confusion because you respect yourself too much to stay where you're not clearly valued. And because of that, people feel your frequency long before you speak a word. The truth is, when you stop chasing, you elevate. You begin to vibrate higher. Your aura starts to filter out chaos, noise, and misaligned connections. Suddenly, opportunities find you. Real friendships seek you out. Aligned love is drawn to your peace. Because people can feel when you are rooted in yourself. But here's what you need to know. Not everyone is ready for someone who doesn't chase. Your calm presence will confuse the ones who are used to attention games. Your boundaries will offend those who expect easy access. Your refusal to settle will feel like arrogance to those who are used to people shrinking around them. But again, this is not your problem. You are not born to chase. You were born to become so focused on your growth, your peace, your truth, and your purpose that everything not meant for you falls away without resistance. This is how true power works. It's quiet, but undeniable. It draws in what is real and repels what is false. So if you've been walking through life wondering why people are drawn to you and yet don't know how to handle you, this is why. Your aura is commanding. It doesn't chase. It attracts. And what you attract at this level will be different. It will be rare. It will be pure. It will be aligned with the powerful energy you now carry. So stay grounded, stay soft but unshakable. Let the world rush around you while you move with intention. Let others chase noise while you remain in your peace. Because the ones who are meant to walk with you on this path won't need to be chased. They'll recognize your aura and be drawn to it like gravity. Your job is not to pursue. Your job is to rise and let everything meant for you meet you there. Now that you've made it to the end of this journey, I want you to take a moment and truly sit with what you've just heard. Because if these 6 signs resonated with you, you're not just different, you are divinely set apart. You were never meant to blend in. Your aura was not designed to be dim, diluted, or dismissed. It was designed to disrupt, to awaken, and to elevate. Yes, your presence will make people uncomfortable. Yes, you will be misunderstood. Yes, some will distance themselves from you not because you hurt them, but because being near you forced them to see what they've been avoiding in themselves. But here's the truth. You're not too much, you're just too real for the fake, too grounded for the chaotic, and too aware for the unaware. That's your power. And from this moment forward, I want you to stop apologizing for it. Stop trying to shrink into spaces that don't know how to hold you. Stop watering yourself down just to be digestible to people who haven't tasted authenticity in a long time. You were made to lead with presence. You walk into rooms and shift energy. You speak less and say more. You attract, not chase. You stand in truth, even if it's uncomfortable for others. And because the right people, the ones aligned with your frequency, they'll see you clearly. They won't feel intimidated by your power. They'll be inspired by it. So when your silence speaks louder than noise, when your solitude feels stronger than any crowd, when your peace becomes your power, remember, that's your aura doing the work. And when others say you're too intense, too distant, or too self-assured, let them talk. Because the ones who say that haven't done the inner work you've done. They haven't felt the weight of their own healing. They haven't reached the level of self-awareness where presence becomes louder than performance. But you have. So carry your energy with pride, guard your peace fiercely, move with intention, and most of all, never again apologize for being powerful. Let your aura speak before you do. Let your silence teach what noise cannot. And let the world adjust to your energy, not the other way around. Because you're not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. And the more you embrace your light, the more you give others permission to find theirs. So here's your final reminder. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You just need to be aligned with yourself. Keep walking in power, keep choosing peace, and never forget, your aura is a gift. Protect it, respect it, and let it lead you. The world doesn't need a watered down version of you. It needs the real you, unapologetic and unstoppable.